Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Bengali Babu Cooking Show. In the past, we've made some wings, and we had suggestion to make aloo gobi last time. That went really well. Thank you so much for all your feedback. Today, we're going to make something really simple, something that is delicious but simple, basically vegetarian pakodi. All right. In the vegetarian pakodi, there's only a few spices you need in there. You don't have to complicate it, and it's about your taste. Okay. To start off, we're going to show you some of the things we're going to put in there. Like I said, you can put other stuff as well, but this is the basic ingredients that we're using. A lot of people use palak. We're not using palak. So to make this gobi pakodi, okay, we're going to have basically just maybe a quarter of a gobi, which is cauliflower, and I've got a medium-sized potato. Remember, potatoes, you want to always try to cut it in smaller slices because they don't cook as fast as gobi will, or the onions. So these ones are small sliced potatoes, and of course onions. Onions, you can have them this size, or you can even have them a little bit bigger. It's your choice. But onions, generally speaking, once they get cooked, they caramelize. It tastes really good. Besides these veggies, we're going to use cilantro, 3 cloves of garlic. We have some ginger. We have some red chili to your taste. Okay, these are the Thai chilies actually. And then the masalas, basically you'll need some haldi. Okay, I'll be telling you how much we're using as we're going forward. You also have red chili powder. You have garam masala. And then you also have salt. All right, besides that, the other things you need is, of course, besan, okay, which is chickpea flour. You need some water to mix it. You need a bowl. Of course, you need a frying pan with oil in it, and also a strainer so that you can actually, once they're cooked, you can put them in there. All right, let's get started. So what we do is, in our bowl, we first add in our onions. All right, after onions, we're gonna add in our potatoes. And then after potatoes, what we'll do is we will add in the gobi. And then let's add in the cilantro. And then some garlic. Garlic, you wanna make sure that you have them really finely chopped. Some people like to get big chunks, that's your choice. Okay, so that's your garlic. Then of course you got your ginger. Ginger according to taste. You don't want to put too much ginger or garlic in here. This is just for the taste. But you do want to have enough so you actually can taste it. Okay, so there you go. Now, why do I use actual fresh chili versus powdered chili? Anytime you're cooking anything, okay, always try to use fresh ingredients, okay? Combination of fresh and also powder gives a different taste. So I always like to play around with my spices and see what kind of flavor comes out. All right, so we just add a few of these. Okay, because we're making a small portion, don't want to overdo with the chilies. So I think 2 chilies will do the job because we're also adding the chili pepper. Okay, that's done. Now we're gonna go into garam masala. This is about a half a teaspoon here. So garam masala. And let's add another half a teaspoon of chili. And the main ingredients in here is the haldi. So you want to add a full teaspoon. This is about a little bit less than a full of haldi. Okay. And then salt according for taste, but I would probably try to go for about 1 teaspoon. This is about 1 teaspoon. There you go. Okay, once you have this, all you're gonna do now This guy's falling off, so we'll leave this to the side. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make some room in here. Now it's the fun part. All right, what you want to do is you want to mix this all really good. Make sure there's absolutely no lumps. A lot of people like to mix the flour and the spices separately and then add it. You don't have to do that. If you choose to, you can. All right, so what we'll do is, and what you want to do is you want to create a nice texture in here in a way that is not too loose and is also not too rough. Okay, so let's just add one, and this you just have to experiment with it depending on how much you're doing. You start off with just about, say, 2, and you add the water and you work it in. Okay, you want to make sure all the spices are mixed in really well. Okay, you can see it's really watery. I may have put a little bit extra water in there, but that's all good because this is only chickpea flour, so it tastes really good. So just add a little bit more of this. Mix it in well. While I'm mixing this in, what we'll do is we'll start the stove so that it gets hot. Okay, stove is heating up. Okay, so a little bit more flour in here. As I'm working this batter, you can see it's starting to become pasty, which is good. You don't want it too much liquid. You want it nice and pasty. Everything's getting worked in really well. But you can see when it goes like this, it's still loose, right? So let's add in a little bit more flour. Okay. Work it in well. Good. Okay, there you go. That is our batter. Okay. Now you have the temperature for the oil should be around 320 to 350. You don't want it too low, otherwise the oil gets right into the batter. You also don't want it too high, otherwise what will happen is if it's too high, the pakoras will get burnt from the outside, inside will be raw. Okay, and the key is when you're actually making small balls to put it in there, you want to make sure that you don't make big balls, just make it small enough so that way it can cook from the inside and out. You can see it's very pasty. This is ready to go. If you have the temperature gauge to see if your oil is hot, you can use one of these. The other way to do it is you can just drop in a piece of onion, and if the onion goes to the bottom, you know it's cold. But once the onion starts to dance around, you can see it sizzling, you know the oil is hot enough. Okay, and the first batch, you may wish to just put few in there, just to make sure the temperature is nice and hot, and then do it. What I always do is, because you want to make sure the masala is good, the salt, the pepper and everything, what I always do is I always drop in 1 or 2, cook it, and then I actually taste it to see if I want to add some more salt, pepper, and so forth. And that's usually a really good way to test it. All right, so see if I drop this now, probably not hot enough yet. See, it just goes to the bottom, so we have to wait until the oil gets hot.
तिवारी, SRS पेनोरामा रियलिटी, 13 साल तजुर्बाकार आपकी अपनी रियल्टर। क्या आप अपनी प्रॉपर्टी टॉप प्राइसेस में बेचना चाहते हैं? तो आज ही नीलम तिवारी से प्राइस इवैल्यूएशन कराएं। और अगर आप अपार्टमेंट या कॉन्डो खरीदना चाहते हैं तो हमारे पास बेहतरीन प्राइसेस में खूबसूरत प्रॉपर्टीज मौजूद हैं। 604-307-7255।
Hi, I'm Virpal, the founder of EO Healing. EO Healing is a luxury plant-based skincare brand. We manufacture all of our products from scratch in small batches. I'm very passionate about educating and teaching the general public about the benefits of switching to natural products. Our goal is to create effective skincare to improve your skin and overall holistic lifestyle of our clients. Our store is located at Unit 109-12025 Nordell Way in Surrey. You can come visit us Tuesday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Fridays at 8:30 p.m., join Rasta Mike for a look at African and Caribbean culture through music and community events, presented in English.
Now, a few things about gobi or vegetable pakoras. A lot of people like these pakoras crunchy. So to make the pakoras crunchy, what you want to do is you want to cook the pakoras about 75% of them. Okay, get it all cooked, or you can cook them right through. Then what you do is you want to chill them. Chill them for about half an hour or so. Heat up the oil again, and then you just re-drop the pakoras back into the oil for no more than 30 seconds. You will get the pakora that's cooked right through, and you get the pakora from the outside. It's really nice and crunchy. All right. Okay, see that's coming up forward. If there's any other pakoras that you like, you know, if it's a fish pakora, a prawn, chicken, please message us. Let us know what is it that you want, what type, and also what other ingredients that you can put in there. You let us know. We'd be more than happy to answer it. You know, there are people that use jeera in here, for example, even so various different spices, but it's according to what your taste is. But this is the basics of it. If you do this at home, basics, believe it or not, your guests and your family will absolutely love it. Okay, we will have a taste test with our production team, and we haven't set them up. They will give us an honest opinion on how they were. Okay? Okay, so this is almost ready. Now, once the oil is hot, I'm going to throw one more in just to make sure. Okay, it's getting there. It's not totally there yet. While we're waiting for the oil, just so you know that we have another show. It's hosted by Akash. It's called The Ultimate Chef. Along with that, the other 4 shows that Aj Television and Aj Magazine has been doing is the newest one is The Untold Stories. That's the book that we had launched just a few months back on the South Asian pioneers. If anybody wanted to purchase that, please drop us a line. And then we have the show that started about 2 years ago. It's called Odds on Location. That basically looks at what's going on, the vibe in the community. We have Odds Arts. That's to showcase all the artists and anything to do with art form in the community. That's on a weekly basis. And then of course our third show is the Caribbean Fusion, which is for the African people. We are one of the exclusive, one of the providers for production for Shaw, and we're happy to have 6 shows with them. A lot of these shows are first showcased on Shaw Television, across BC on Channel 4, okay, across Alberta on Channel 10. All right, and then of course from there Shaw puts it on their multicultural on their YouTube. Odds Media Group puts it on the YouTube, and we use various different platforms to showcase it, like for example Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. Okay, so this is ready. So what we'll do for the first one, we're just going to drop in Fuse so we can taste the spices. It's starting to come together. Remember, once you put the batter or the pakoras inside, naturally the temperature of the oil is going to drop, right? Therefore, that you got to make sure you maintain the oil level. Okay. I put this. Just wash my hands. Okay, so there's so many different types of strainers. The main idea between a strainer is make sure it is nice. It is metal, okay, because the oil, it's got hot oil. Once the oil comes through, what you want to make sure that you have a plate or something at the bottom that it can actually, the oil doesn't drip on the counter. All right, okay, so welcome back. After the water spill, we want to make sure that's all taken care of. Okay, as you can see, the pakoras are starting to get a little bit golden brown here. All right, now what we'll do is we had dropped a few onions right in the beginning. So this actually gives us an opportunity to taste the masalas. So you just want to drip it. Let's put it in here, let it cool down. The other thing you want to remember is when you got pakoras in there, this actually is a gobi or the cauliflower, so you don't really want to squish that. But if you had, you know, something in there, it's a mix of onions, gobi, and potato, but it's a little bit bigger. That could mean that the inside won't get cooked. So all you do is you just flip it. Once you flip it, you just press down on it slowly. Okay, see, that means a lot of the water that's inside will come out. Okay, and that would mean it's cooked. Okay, so let's taste the masalas in here. Very good. Just needs a little bit more salt. Okay, that should do it, and I would want it a little bit more hotter. So what I would do is add a little bit more chili, and my favorite thing always is I never drop a chili in oil, okay, when it's not cut. Okay, so what you want to do is you just want to slit it a little bit so air can get inside. Cut it and just drop it in here. One, there's nothing more tastier than having a whole chili that's got the batter on it to eat after. Okay, so like that. There you go. Okay. Never leave the oil unattended. Always keep an eye out. Sometimes it's easy to forget, get away for a phone call, or kids are calling, whatever it may be. Okay, so now we just mix all this back up in here again. See the chili itself, it's battered. Just drop the chili in. That tells me the oil is hot. So what I want to do is I want to take out the other 2 pakoras that are done. That's here. Now let's drop a batch. Okay. Try to keep them together like that. It'll stick together. All you do is when you're dropping it, you make like a ball in your hand and you use your thumb. You're just gonna keep it together and push it just like maybe a centimeter or two off the oil so it doesn't splash. And you want to try to get them in almost all at the same time. Don't waste too much time in between, because you don't want some that you drop in the beginning already cooked and the other ones at the end not as cooked. So this one, we'll just do a small drop on this one. Always a good idea as you go, just clean. This will give me a chance to try this one. So once the oil is cooking in there for about a minute or so, you don't want to touch them before that because they're still bonding together. What you want to do is you go back in there, just move around a little bit, and then you start from one side, scoop them, and just let them go to the side, flip it so it gets cooked evenly on both sides. Have a system, start from one side and move to the other side. If there's some that don't get flipped and all that, you don't need to worry about it. You'll notice as they start to cook, they will start to turn more golden. So if there's a pakora or two in there that it's not golden on the side you're looking at, that tells you that perhaps you didn't flip it earlier. You can go back and flip it. So now you want to let it cook here for another minute. Okay, once this is cooked, what we'll do is at that time we will squish them down to see if there's any material inside that's not getting cooked. So the pakoras you could eat with ketchup. You usually want to sprinkle the pakora with chaat masala. Okay, but in terms of what you want to eat it with, you can eat it with ketchup, or you can make chutney. Chutney is easy to do, and on one of the episodes, we will teach you how to actually make chutney. Okay, it's been about a minute. So what you want to do is press them down slowly. If you have a handle, you're not so comfortable using this, so it's a good idea. Grab the handle here, press it down evenly. You can hear the sizzle. Press them down. Press them down. Okay, there you go. Now it's time to flip them one more time. Yeah, in terms of how long you should have them in there, a lot of it depends on how big the batch is, how hot the oil is, how big your handi is, and so forth. So what you want to do is, you know when they're done, when they're actually turning more golden brown. Besides the potatoes, we know chickpeas, right? You talk about onions, cauliflower. A lot of the stuff, if they're just even warmed up, they taste good. So we don't need to worry about how well they're cooked. It all depends on your taste. However, when you get into start to cook, say, chicken pakora or fish pakora, especially chicken, you want to make sure that those are cooked well, right, for health reasons. So pick them out. So when you take them out, start from one side. Don't lift it too high. You just want to shake a little bit. So what we're doing is I'm draining the extra oil. Okay, drain, 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 and then you just put it in here. Same thing. And it's better to take few at a time than try to do too many. So what we'll do is we'll do one more, and meanwhile this will actually cool down. And then once it cools down, then we're gonna double deep fry them to make them nice and crunchy. Okay, that's that. Let them cool. All right, there you go. You got your veggie pakora. We have a taster here, Jaya. Jaya, Pick any one of those and tell us how it is. Straight up, be honest.
Spicy, but really good.
Yeah? Yeah.
Did a good job.
This is what you expected from a nice pakora? Can you cook something like this now at home?
Sure I can.
There you go. Well, there you go, folks. Very simple recipe for veggie pakora for all your guests, even for your late night snack. Thank you for tuning in to Bengali Babu.
Fridays at 8:30 p.m., join Rasta Mike for a look at African and Caribbean culture through music and community events, presented in English.